The 6th annual 9/11 Silent Walk will take place this September, and will be much bigger and better than the previous years. It will have more guests and a new finish location. I sit down one-on-one with the organizer of the event, North Charleston firefighter Tian Griffieth, for a special edition of Quintin's Close-Ups. And be sure to download the free Quintin's Close-Ups app in your Apple or Google Play stores. And listen to this interview later on iHeartRadio.
Tian Griffieth, it's so good to see you again.
Always good seeing you.
Oh, I'm doing great, actually.
Great.
Yeah, I know today's April Fool's Day.
No, yeah, absolutely.
And I know you were going to join the pools department.
Yeah, I tried to raise some concern and let them know that I'm pursuing other things and that I've decided to join the blue and leave the red.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, you're still doing a public service.
Yeah, still doing a public service, but leaving the red and going to the blue for 24 hours.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Well, let me turn to something that's serious in regards to public service.
Yes, sir.
And that is the 6th annual 9/11 Silent Walk.
Yes.
And obviously, we were supposed to do this interview a couple of days ago over at the Yorktown.
Yes, sir.
Why the Yorktown in your mind?
This is a culmination of people's realization of how important the day is. When we constantly have struck towards the importance of that day, we've always signaled 9/11 as a day that should never be forgotten. And this is a honing in on Charleston's all getting together on this thing and saying, you know what, we're going to join this cause. We're going to work together on this product that raises money for the 9/11 Memorial Museum in New York. And this is an item that we can get together behind. And so the museum has Patriots Point has joined with us on this walk and this journey, and we're excited to have them and having to hold the flight deck of the Yorktown for our ceremony that evening and having our bell be rung there and guys have that ending there.
Yes, indeed. You talk about money being raised for the New York 9/11 Museum. How much money are you talking about here?
Well, every year it ranges. I mean, last year we raised $750, but we did it during the hurricane.
Wow.
The entire city was evacuating, and ourselves, Mayor Tecklenburg, police chief, and fire chief, we were on the side of the street, and East Bay Street and Gracebridge Street, and we had our opening ceremony just with those three gentlemen there. And with about 500 firefighters, and we walked on 9/11 during a hurricane. It was a first. We hopefully don't have any weather like that this year.
Right.
But it was about that day and letting everybody know that just as that day when everybody was running and evacuating those towers, that day we were still there doing the same thing. When everybody's running out, these firemen are still running, these police officers are still running in, and the public and the first responders are still committed to that day and honoring what that day's about.
You talk about 500 firefighters last year.
Mm-hmm.
How many firefighters do you expect this year?
It ranges every year. We've had as many as 2,500, and last year, with 500 during the hurricane. So, we're expecting, over 1,000 participants.
And everybody's asking, how do you participate?
It's a free event. You come out, you can go to our Eventbrite, which will be opening at the end of the month of April. You go on Eventbrite, you register, you search 9/11 Silent Walk. You register, it's free, and as people come through, they participate on that day for free. It doesn't take them anything. It doesn't cost you any money. If you want to donate, that's fine. But we just try to have the community come out that day and just think about what was lost that day. Remember that somebody's being remembered and thought about that day, and somebody's not at the kitchen table or not at that holiday table. And this is the reasons why. So that day is really about being together.
You talk about 18 Septembers ago.
18.
When you look back at that to right now, what still plays in your mind about September 11th, 2001, that is?
We're getting to that point where we're talking 20 years ago. I was a student. I was in high school. The impacts of that day, for me were very different from the people from that city, from that day. That people that still, can remember the color of the sky, the amount of smoke that was in the air, the falling papers that they've never seen fall like that way before. They can remember the events and things that happened that day in a different manner, a different perspective. And that's why we always have people come out and share on that day. This year we're looking to have some very special guests come out and share. And we'll kind of announce that as we go throughout the year. But we're looking to have some people come that day and just share and kind of help us reflect and kind of help us, get back parts of that what we've forgotten. And I think that's really what the walk is about. We're not out there racing. We're not out there, we're out there just, we're out there doing the walk. We're thinking about people. We're honoring people that have been lost, the days, months, weeks, and years of that day. And we're thinking about, with this, thinking about that. We're letting people, this is a measure of love, and this is a show of compassion. And we just want people to know that, that if you're feeling like you're alone, or if you feel like you're in a place where things are dark and dirty for you, that there are people out here that still care about you and that are going to acknowledge your sacrifice and the things that you lost that day.
Obviously, it's been 6 years since your particular event happened.
Yeah.
What is the biggest difference between 6 years ago and now when you think about the 9/11 Silence Walk?
You know, honestly, it's something that I've seen sit back and watch grow like a child. It was 5 of us the first year, and you know, like I said, it's been 2,500 of us at certain times. We've had years during hurricanes. We've had years, you know, that we've had a medical emergency and a heart attack. We've had years, you know, that went by. We've raised a lot of money. We've had years go by. We haven't raised really enough, or I'll say enough, but a lot. And you know, but every year we've had the opportunity to do something. We get in a plane, we take that money to New York City, we present it to the museum in person, and that's something that South Carolina can say they do, and Charleston can say that they do. That they have a physical relationship with that museum. We go there and we meet with the representatives there, and we go and give them something from us, even if it's nothing, just something to show that we're still here and we're still engaged and we're still thinking about that day.
You talk about the medical emergency. How's my buddy doing?
Chief Bailey's been fantastic. You know, he's fully recovered. He's still riding a fire truck. He's still doing the job, and you know, and you know, he's just happy. And I think that's the things that you look at. You know, what a scary time, but what a blessing to have something like that happen, where somebody can come back and be full of life. He came last year and walked the entire bridge again. You know, just to say I'm finished.
I'm finished. What do you want people to do when they're finished with this particular race?
Well, this year will end a little differently. You're gonna walk 4.2 miles. You're gonna walk across from Charleston. We're gonna bus all of our participants over. You're going to walk from Charleston to Mount Pleasant. When you get to Patriots Point, you're going to go onto the ship. You're going to walk through the American flags on that deck, on that dock, through the American flags. You're going to walk in. You're going to go up an elevator. You're going to walk the escalator. You're going to see that day that's a very, very important thing when you think about, you know, the survivor stairwell that day. You know, you're thinking about the escalator here that day. So you're going to take the escalator up, and you're going to go onto the flight deck. On the flight deck, you're going to find the bell. The bell will be there, and you're going to ring that bell, signifying the end of your journey, 4.2 miles for whoever you're walking for, whether it be, you know, Gary Box, Joseph Angelini, whoever that firefighter that you're walking for, Thomas Cullen, whoever it is that you're walking for that day. You're going to take that journey from Charleston to the flight to go to Yorktown, and you got to ring that bell for them.
And which firefighter still plays in your mind?
You know, every year it changes. Last year I walked for Thomas Cullen, Squad 41. You know, this year, you know, I haven't quite decided. You know, but I always, whoever I walk for, I always make sure I visit the firehouse when I go to New York City. And it's one of those things that I kind of really, kind of toss up, and I really just kind of really thumb through and say, okay, this is random. You know, this is who I got this year. And so I've been blessed to, you know, have that opportunity to walk, and then, you know, and in that, you know, get to know their families, because we've had the opportunity to reach out and meet with some of their families and talk with some of their families members, and it means a lot.
Oh, yes.
When you have a person that you've lost, you know, in such a tragic way, when you can say, you know what, there's something being done for my son, or, you know, my son on this day, my daughter on this day. And, you know, this year to have the privilege to include the military again, you know, and get the military, you know, involved. We're bringing a Yorktown in. You know, we can honor all the people that were lost at the Pentagon. We can honor all the people that were lost, you know, in the wars thereafter that incited after that. So this is what it's about. This is the community's event.
Yes, indeed. We're looking forward to it.
Yes, sir. Privilege.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, firefighter Tian Griffieth, thank you so much, team, for your time. I really, really appreciate this.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome anytime.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.